Hi, everybody. Looks like we're going live. Today is Thursday, April 9th. I know some of you might be seeing this live, some of you might be viewing it later on. Um, Good morning. It's kind of a rainy day today. Today is Thursday. And if we remember our days of the week, if today's Thursday, tomorrow will be what? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow will be Friday, and yesterday was Wednesday. So, friends, I see a couple of people on here. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Let me go ahead and tell everybody good morning. If you have any questions and you have the ability to uh, respond back to me, please do that. Uh, I'm glad you guys are here. Um, we're going to be covering a couple of things that we've been giving to you as work, some things that I've noticed, a couple of um, ideas or things I need to remember, especially for moms and dads. Please be sure that you're keeping your work and that you're sending me evidence or showing me through pictures or a video that you're doing that. Also, friends, remember to check in with me every day. We're going to try to, I believe we said Wednesday, to be sure that you check in and at least see the work. I have a meeting later on, tomorrow, with all of the Walnut School teachers. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad you guys are on here. I'm just going through some reminders to check in. If you can every day, at least by Wednesday, please remember to show me your evidence of your work that you're doing. We're going to be going over a little writing today and a little math of things that we're doing and things that we will be doing. I have a meeting tomorrow with all of Walnut school teachers and Mrs. Pellegrina, Miss Anaya, and Mr. Duran. So if there's any other directions, then I'll be sure to give that to you. We have about 7 friends on. Yay! I'm glad. Um, I want to just make sure that everybody got the video from our special friend yesterday, Jose Chon Zepeda, the WBC super lightweight champion of the world. And I want to thank him for doing that. He might even be watching this as well. So I just want to thank Chon for doing that for us. We never had the chance of for him to come over to our class to read because he was preparing for a fight that he was supposed to have actually the week that we went onto the stay home order. So he was unable to have that bout. He's still practicing, training at home, and he has videos of that that he sends to us quite often. So I just want to thank Chuan for doing that again. We will have other friends throughout the weekend and next week who I'll be sending you their videos because they want to reach out to all of you. Just a little reminder, most important thing, good morning. Hi, Dominic. Hi, Christopher. And I know La Señora Carmela Gonzalez, I don't know whose mom that is. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember everybody's names. Thank you. Um, Yay, some friends are here. I'm so happy. Um, Next week we go on spring break. So there will not be any activities listed for spring break. We want you to enjoy your time with your family, your celebrating time as best we can. Also, oh, that's right. Thank you. I hope you're feeling better, Alyssa's mom. Thank you. Also, friends, if there's any of the activities you haven't done and you want to work on that, please do. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Monroe. Monroe, I think that I'm with everybody on here, Monroe. We miss you a lot. We miss you a lot. And I miss all of your drawings and everything. So basically, friends, like I said, we're going to go over writing and we're going to go over some math that we've been doing and that we're asking you to do. Next week, we won't have any activities listed. You can go back and cover something you didn't do. Maybe you might want to fix it up a little bit because of what we're going to be talking about today. Also, I have a special story because I found it here and I was so excited. It's over there on my couch. It's one that I actually have at school and I don't think we've read it. I wanted to read all of those, but we didn't get a chance. So hopefully I'll be able to find the links and I'll send them to you. But and please excuse, I have to work with what I have here best I can. What I want to tell you all, friends, is that you should have a place for all of your supplies because we don't have our things on our table that we share. And I know a lot of us uh, like to hold everything in our hand. But what I did is this actually my neighbor gave me, friends. Look, I think she had like some frozen meat in there and she washed it out. And then she gave me all these pencils and these scissors, which are cool. But I kept everything in here because, well, she moved and she said, here, I want to give you all of my pens and stuff. And I love pens. So I don't have them all on my table, but I have them in this little tray. So anything you guys have, you don't have to have our little color boxes, but she just uses from some box she had. It looks like she bought some sandwich or a meat in it, washed it all out. So I had it for some time. So have your stuff in a safe place where you keep it. You don't have to have everything all thrown around. Um, I would like you to have paper if you can. Any paper will work. Look what Miss Ayala had used. I found some paper here. It's a pretty good size. Remember this shape? Has 4 equal sides. Yep. Nobody's telling me. That's okay. We know it's a square. And then if I folded it in half, it would be a what? A rectangle. A rectangle. Do you see it? Awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about those shapes in a minute. I also said I need to write on something, so I found this big paper. But I found these file folders. This is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use my little notebook. I'm always writing things down, friends. And I have some paper too. So what we're going to do first, and I have a paper clip because I have to kind of hold it. Friends, in our writing, you guys are doing a really good job. Hi, Eric Fuentes. Hi, Eric. Good to see you on here. Monroe, Stephanie, Alyssa, Dominic, Christopher. I'm glad you guys are here. And some people come on later on, friends. I know Lucas sees this later on with his mom. Santiago will see this later on with his mom. I know, Eric. I see you on there. Awesome. Friends, I'm in my living room. Our letter for the week. I'm going to go off a little bit. That's usually what I do, right, friends? Because I remember. A little bit. Our letter was J. And remember J like jump. What's the sound? J, jump, J. And then our other letter is Q. Q. And I could write that out. Look, I even had that. I have my markers in this little glass. These are not the best markers I would like to use, but I'm using them because this is what I have. And this is what I'm going to use. I didn't bring all of that stuff from school. But our letter, friends, for the week, remember, this is a good envelope, is J. Remember? Oh, it might be coming backwards. I don't know if it's showing backwards or not. Jump. I think you guys can see it, right? I'm not sure. I'm sorry if it's backwards. Should it be? Is it showing backwards? Oh, Monroe. I'm sorry, Dominic Lopez. Monroe's telling you hi. He misses playing with you. You friends from TK, right? Yeah. Oh, you guys see it fine. Thank you. Thank you, Monroe's mom, Mrs. Castro. So this is our letter J for the week. And remember our other letter for the week is Q. Remember what I told you about Q. It always has that U sound. Qua. Qua. It sounds like K-U. K-U. When you write it, it always has a U. Qua. Qua. And it sounds like a K and a W. Qua. So we had talked about, friends. Hi, everybody. Dominic saying hi. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Jose. Jose Escutia is on here. Thank you, friends. Thank you. I hope this is working for us because it's working for me. And anybody can access it. School is trying to have us kind of go on something called WebEx with your emails. Those are the information that's on the bottom of your computer card. But we might try that later on, but right now I think this is working for us. So let me go back to our letter Q. Friends, remember the sound qua, qua? And I told you my great friend made me that blanket with all the different pieces of material. It's called a quilt. Quilt. So this is not the quilt she made me for my mom. Remember, friends, I told you she made a really, that's in my bedroom, I said before, but my quilt, this quilt she made me different, a different one, but it's the same thing with different material. This is the back material, but in the front, and this is a special one I'm going to show you, friends. Quilt is a word that starts with Q, with the Q. But this one are my t-shirts of Eric Antonio. It says, this girl loves Eric Antonio. These are all his concert t-shirts from the Baldwin Park. I don't know if you guys can really see it. This was in Riverside, but these are t-shirts with Eric Antonio on them. And do you see how she sewed them together? These are, I hope you guys can see them. So she made me a quilt, an Eric Antonio quilt. Isn't that awesome? Let me stand up so you guys can see it better. Oh, that's good. So these are when he played here at Baldwin Park. He's done 5 years of concerts here at the park. And then hopefully, and he did the parade. So hopefully, and I know, remember, Stephanie was there for the parade. Hopefully he'll be back when all of this is done. Okay, friends, so I wanted you to see my quilt. I fold it this way to kind of keep the t-shirts okay. So friends, our two letters this week were J and Q. And you have an activity, I remember, about making some transportation, but using the shapes. And we'll talk about the shapes in a minute. What I want to talk to you about, and so your moms and dads can see, is our writing. And there's a few things I want to talk to you about our writing. If you have a paper like this, friends, if you don't have the lines, remember our picture goes on top. We know what to do. We do dot to dot, and then what? We draw the line. Here goes our picture. Here goes our words. We write our name, the date, if you can, so your parents can help you with that. And I know some of you are just writing, some of you are just making a line so that you're writing on the lines. That's fine. That's fine. Some of you are also kind of making the space so that you could see it. That's a little bit too small, so let me make it a little bit bigger. Now, when we're talking about our writing, friends, you're doing a great job. You are doing a wonderful, great job. You are. Remember, friends, you need to put the space between your words. So when we're writing something, and I'll just say, I like the rain, it is wet. I like the rain, it is wet. When we're writing, friends, remember, think of what you want to say. I like the rain. How many words is that? I like the rain. Say it again. I like the rain. How many words will you write? 4 words. If you think of it, you say it, then you're going to write it. Here at the top, friends, remember we're going to write our name. So I'm going to write my name. I'm sorry it's not on a perfect line, but I'm writing Miss Ayala, and today's date is 4/9/2020. I want to, before I forget, I want to say happy birthday again to Faith. Yesterday was her birthday, and I did send her a little video to wish her a happy birthday. So I'm glad about that. Remember, I like the rain. I know that word. I. Moms and dads, if you're going to be using you're making the line, you could use a pencil and they're going to write with a pencil. Try not to write with a pen, please. We're going to write with the pencil just like we would in class. And it's okay that it kind of blends in. They know what they're writing. So it's I like, new word. So I need what? Spacer. Remember our spacer would come up and put the fingers? So I like. Try to write it yourself, like, and it has that quiet E. I'm going to put my pencil down, reading with my finger. I like the. That's one of our words. If you need to look at your list, friends, if you need to look at this list, you use it to check. You've got it there. Use it. I like the. I like the. Oops, sorry. I like the rain. 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 First, I got to figure out, is it going to fit there? Probably not. So where am I going to go? Down under the letter. A lot of times your boys and girls, moms and dads are going to say down. And what do, friends? Down? You know, under. Underwear. So you have them explain to you exactly where they're going to continue. So I like the under the letter I, next row, return sweep, rain. What do you hear? Oops, kind of too high. So if I had a pencil, I would be erasing it. Sorry about that. I don't have boo-boo tape here either, friends. I would have put some boo-boo tape and redid it. A, rain. There's a quiet letter there, letter I. We're going to talk about that. We started to talk about these vowels that say their name before we left, and we didn't get a chance. So when we come back from spring break, Mrs. Macias and I have already talked about that. We're going to have a great time talking about the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and how they say their name. So right now, just know that I is his friend. He's quiet, and he's letting A say his name. So A, the letter N. Put my marker down. I'm going to read it. I like the rain. Good sentence. What goes at the end? Period. A lot of you are writing for me one sentence. We need to be writing two sentences at least. Tell me about it. I'm glad you like it. Why? It is wet. It is cold. It is fun. And your picture is going to show me that. Remember? So I'm going to say, it is wet. It is wet. Hi, everybody on here. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad everybody's on here. Andrew Vince Cruz is on here. Good morning, Andrew. We're just going over some writing, and I'm showing the kids. You can always go back and look at this. That's why I'm glad it's on here. So we're going to think it is wet. How many words? It is wet. What is your sentence? It is wet. Let's count it. It is wet. How many, friends? 3. Good job. Starting a new sentence. There's some room here. There's some room here. It, I, capital letter. Remember, you always start a sentence with a capital letter. You always start a sentence with a capital letter. You always start a sentence with a capital letter. And capital letters are, good job. So we're going to use a capital I. It, good. Everybody should be saying T. It is new word. What do we need? Space. Is. You're doing great, friends. Is. Let's read it. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can at the end, but right now we're just working on this. It is wet. And I have a little room here to make another line. It is wet. W, 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 w. Good job. Everybody, letter W, right? W, w. Eh. Letter E. W, et. Some of you are probably already writing it, which is awesome. Putting my pencil, my marker down that I'm using. Please, friends, remember you're going to be writing with a pencil. I'm doing it, like I've said before, so we could all see it. And we're going to start reading the sentence. It is wet. Good job. Am I done? No, I need the period. So it is wet. So I'm going to put my marker down. Remember in our writing, friends, in our writing, we would need to remember to write our name and the date. I put the space here because our picture always goes on top. We're going to be writing first at least 2 sentences about whatever our ideas that we gave you for the week, the teachers gave you. Um, Sorry about that. Somebody's getting in there. Let's reread it. Remember your name and date. It says, I like the rain. It is wet. Some of you did your story about the umbrella. I loved it. I loved it. You're writing about being an umbrella and what could you do? That was awesome. That was awesome. So you should have at least 2 sentences. If you could do more, great. And I know some of you are putting it in even already have a notebook. My book has this kind of paper and it flips up. That's fine too. And if you just make your line here and right below and draw the picture up here, I'm fine with that. That's totally cool. You don't have to use this paper. I just used it because I'm showing you you can use anything you have at home. I'm using these dividers. I don't need this, but this is paper for anything I need. I have some paper I showed you is already like kind of like in this shape because I had some of it. I'm going to use it. Friends, my other thing about writing is your spacing. Please remember when you're thinking of your sentence, count out the words so you know how many that you're saying. The other thing we need to work on or talk about is our drawing. Moms and dads, we spent a long time talking about our drawings, and some of us kind of forgot, or they don't think mom and dad know. Our drawings have to have at least three things. Who's in it? What are they doing? I'm sorry. Who's in it? Where are they? And what are they doing? A lot of you draw you on a white paper. Are you inside? Are you outside? Where are you at? You're not telling me. You're not showing me. So remember, everybody, three things always in your picture. Who's in it? Could be a tree, could be a dog. Who's in it? Okay, I'm sorry about that. Notices. Who's in it? Where are they at? And what are they doing? So it says here, I like the rain. It is wet. So I know I'm in it. Now, we need to talk about drawing people in your person. A lot of you are doing this. And that's it. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? Where's their hair? What clothes do they have on? Friends, we know this stuff. We know this stuff. So if this is Miss Ayala, you're going to draw her hair. I guess I curled it today. She's got ears. I have a nose, right? We talked about clothes, friends. A lot of us draw the person like this first. Let me get my markers. A lot of us draw a person like this first, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. All I taught the boys and girls to do is to cover over it. Color over it. It's okay to draw the person. Show them that they have arms and legs, but cover over it. This is like a square, rectangle here, depending how the arms go. It's wet, so got some pants on. Remember, friends, your people need to have clothes. You need to show me, is it a boy, is it a girl? Shoes, whatever color. Okay, now you can see the person. Person's holding an umbrella. Ooh, it's a big one. Oh, it's me, right? You said I. You see the person. You can go back and color it later. We talked about that too. So I have the person. I know they have an umbrella. I see them. Where are they? Oh, they must be outside. Here's a tree. You know, it's cloudy. And friends, you know I love the drawings. I always go back, moms and dads, and color it. But I'm just drawing it right now so they could see. Sorry, my paper clip. We know it's really raining. I had a blue marker, and that's what I'm looking for. Would make it look better. Yay. It's raining. You want to show that it's wet. There's puddles. Remember what you wrote, that I like the rain. It is wet. I like it. How do I know that I like it? I'm smiling. I have the person. Where are they at? Outside in the rain? What are they doing? Walking in the rain with an umbrella. Do I have my three things? Yep. Does the person look like a person? Yes. Can they see where they are? Yes. Do they like it? Yes. Friends, remember your three things. I just don't want to see a person with no face, no hair. I want to see what it is. So in our writing, friends, we talked about spacing. We talked about setting it up on a paper. If you have lined paper, that's okay. That's cool too. Just draw your line and start it. And then your picture goes above. If you want more room to write, your picture could be smaller up on top. And then you're writing. You don't need, if you're using lined paper, and that's a good thing I want to show real quick, those that are using lined paper, same thing. Dot, dot, across, excuse me, I can't even trace correctly. Your name, Miss Ayala, and the date. You're only using two lines. Do you see? I'm only using the two lines. If you need to draw that, that's fine. Two lines, not five, not six. I don't want words this big. That's not the way we write, friends. We know how to write. Okay? So remember, you can use a line paper, that's good. And then you have it all in something together. Remember the spacing. Remember to think about it, say it, and then write it. If you need some of those words from your folder, use them. Try to sound them out. Moms and dads, the words like rain, let them write it as best they can. Right now, we want to hear that they're hearing the sounds and that they can write it. That's the most important thing. Wow, we're going pretty good on time. That's kind of what they want me to do. Half an hour of writing, half an hour of math. I was like, ooh, that's a long time. So I'm not going to stay too long, but I do need to practice some stuff with you. We did our drawing as well. I think that's just awesome. You know what? I might have to stick that. I think we did such a good job. That's my Lion King picture, if you notice. I think we did awesome, friends. The other thing I want to go over with you before we go on, just a little reminder. Um, Please be sure, and I'll remind you at the end, please be sure, moms and dads, that you text me or email me your mailing address, please. Some of you have done that, so thank you for those that have already been doing that. Also, try to log in if you can into the computer using your login card that I gave you. I already sent that information to you. Um, there's two other things I want to talk about, but before that, and we're gonna move on to math with um, two other ideas. Today we did the writing, spacing, remembering the pictures, and things like that. But in the math, we have two other ideas I just want to go over. But before we do that, I want to read the story. Um, Before I forget, now this story, friends, I always my boys and girls know I take the covers off the books when I'm reading. I kind of leave it on. But this story, boys and girls, is actually made up after a favorite you might know, the Three Little Pigs. And the Three Little Pigs, friends, if you remember, they're brothers and sisters. No, I'm sorry, they're brothers. And in some of the stories, they have the mom pig, and some stories they don't. But they all have this bad wolf. And this bad wolf is trying to knock their houses down. So I'm going to try to find the other stories that I have at school. On a link here because those are so good. But this one is a little different than the Three Little Pigs you know. This is called the Little, and you might know it, some of you might know it, the Three Little Javelinas. And if you can see, there's two boys and there's a girl. So there's three, but two are boys and one is a girl. So there's two brothers and a sister. And they live like out in the desert. And you see it, they're just kind of like cowboys. So this, friends, is a little bit different than the Three Little Pigs are used to, but it's taken after that story. The Three Little Avelinas by Susan Lowell, illustrated by Jim Harris. And I have this book at school. So this must have been a gift that I left here for my neighborhood kids that might want to read it. I'll show you the picture while I read it. See it? Once upon a time, way out in the desert, there were three little javelinas. Javelinas are wild, hairy, southwestern cousins to the pigs. They're related to the pigs, they're cousins. Their heads were hairy, their backs were hairy, and their bony legs, all the way down to their hard little hooves, were all very hairy. They got a lot of hair, friends. Ooh. But their snouts, which are their noses right here, are soft and pink. They're soft and pink. They're not hairy. One day, the three little javelinas trotted away to seek their fortunes in the hot, dry land. The sky was almost always blue. Steep purple mountains looked down on the desert where the cactus forest grew. Soon the little javelinas came to a spot where their path was divided, and each one went their own way. So they came to a part of the road where they had to take their own path. They had to go their own way. The first little javelina wandered lazily along and he didn't see a dust storm whirling across the desert until it caught him. The whirlwind blew him away and left The first little javelina sitting in a heap of tumbleweeds. These are tumbleweeds. They're big circles of like straw, dry grass. Brushing himself off, he said, I'll build a house with them. And in no time at all, that's what he did. He built his house of tumbleweeds. Got caught up. It says #1 Tumbleweed Avenue. Uh-oh. So here they don't have a wolf. They got like a wolf friend called a coyote. Then along came a coyote. He ran through the desert so quickly and so quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was only one of Coyote's magical tricks. He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and he smelled the javelina inside. Mmm, a tender, juicy piggy, he thought. Coyote was tired of just eating mice and rabbits. Oh no. He called out sweetly, little pig, let me come in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, shouted the first javelina, who had a lot of hair on that chin. Chinny chin chin, then I'll huff and I'll puff. And I'll blow your house in. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the tumbleweed house away. But in all of the hullabaloo, the first little javelina escaped and went along looking for his brother and his sister. Coyote was very sneaky. He tiptoed right behind. Here's our second pig. He finds this lady. Now, this lady has some sticks, and these sticks come from this cactus. This cactus is the tall ones. We've seen them kind of like this back here. They're not the ones that grow in some of our yards. We have some cactus. We call them nopales. They're a little bit different in the desert. They're like this tall, and inside they have these sticks. The second little javelina walked for miles along some giant cactus plants called saguaros. They held they held their ripe red fruit high up in the sky, but they made almost no shade, and the little javelina grew very hot. Then he came upon a Native American woman. We know those are Indians. We call them Native Americans, who was gathering sticks from inside the dried up cactus. She planned to use these long sticks called saguaro ribs to knock down the sweet cactus fruit. The second little Avelina said, please, may I have some sticks to build a house? Hawa, she said, which means yes in the language of the desert. So she spoke her language and she said yes. Look, there he is in his in his home, but he has somebody there with him. His brother. His brother found him. When he was finishing building his house, he lay down in the shade. Then his brother arrived, panting from the heat. Panting. He's panting from it. He's so, what do you think? What do you think he's panting? Hot. He's thirsty. Panting from the heat. Then the second little javelina moved over and made a place for him. And then they rested. That's one. That's two. Uh-oh. Here I see them running. And who do you see right here? The coyote. Pretty soon, Coyote found the saguaro rib house. He used his magic to make his voice sound like another Avelina. Little pig, let me come in. But the little Avelinas were suspicious. That means they were kind of concerned. They were like, suspicious means they weren't too sure. The second one cried, "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Bah, thought Coyote. I'm going to eat your hair. Then Coyote smiled, showing his sharp teeth. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. So he huffed and he puffed, and all the saguaro ribs came tumbling down. But the two little Javelinas escaped into the desert, still not discouraged. Coyote followed them. Sometimes his magic did fail, but then he usually came up with another trick. So he's following them. He's not worried. They had two brothers, and remember the sister. Here she is. Do you see her? She's right here, and she sees this man with these bricks. The third little Amelina trotted through the beautiful the beautiful palo verde trees, the green trunks, and the yellow flowers. She saw snakes sliding by, smooth as oil. A hawk floated round and round her. Then she came to a place where a man was making adobe bricks from mud and straw. The bricks lay on the ground, baking in the hot sun, drying up. The third Melina thought for a moment and she said, May I please have a few adobes to build a house? Sí, answered the man, which means yes in Spanish, the brick maker's language. He said, Yes, you can. And she used some really nice words, kind words. She said, May I please? Have you noticed that? She was really good. So the third Avelina built her solid little adobe house. Here's her little adobe house. And look who came to see her. He built her little solid little adobe house, cool in the summer and warm in the winter. When her brothers found her, she welcomed them in and locked the door behind them. Coyote followed their trail. So they're all together again. Look at him. He's pretending he's sick. Look at them. Little pig, let me come in, he called. The three little Avelinas looked out the window. This time Coyote pretended to be very old and weak, with no teeth and a sore paw. But they were not fooled. No, not by the hair in my chinny chin chin, called back the third little Javelina. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, said Coyote. He grinned, thinking of the wild pig dinner he was going to have. Just try it, shouted the third little Javelina. So Coyote huffed and he puffed, but the adobe bricks did not budge. Again, Coyote tried. And I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. The three little Javelinas covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. Javelinas peeked through the window. He is trying to go for the stovetop. Look at the tip of Coyote's raggedy tail. I'm sorry. The tip of Coyote's raggedy tail whisked right past their noses. He was climbing up on the tin roof. Next, Coyote used his magic to make himself very, very skinny, thin, slender. Remember, those were our words. The stovepipe gasped, the third Lavalina. Oh, quickly, she lit the fire inside the wood stove. What a feast it will be, Coyote said to himself. He squeezed himself into the stovepipe. I think I'm going to eat them with red hot chili sauce. Whoosh! Dissolve. And he went down the stove. They're looking out the window. Then the three Lavalinas heard an amazing noise. It was not a bark. It was not a cackle. It was not a howl. It was not a scream. It was like all of those sounds put together. yip, 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 yow! Away ran a puff of smoke. Shoot, beauty, he got sizzled. Here he is. Do you see him in a booth? The three little Javelinas lived happily ever after in their adobe house. And if you ever hear a coyote's voice way out in the desert at night, well, you know what he's probably remembering. He's remembering what he heard. There's the little Javelina, the one. So, friends, I really like this story. It's about the three little pigs and the wolf, but it's a coyote, and it's their cousins, the three Javelinas. I like it because in the real story that I'll send you, the wolf eats the pigs. And in this one, nobody gets eaten up. A little burn, but not eaten up. Now, I'm going to share a few minutes. We have a few more minutes left, friends. Um, a little bit of math with you really quickly. I just want to go over two-dimensional shapes because I know you're working with those right now. And our two-dimensional shapes, friends, are something we all know about. Our two-dimensional shapes, if you remember, two dimensionals are flat. That means they're like this. They're not big, you can't hold them. So we have the circle, the three-sided ones, or the triangle, sides, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, has three sides. Do you see the little marks? Those are marks they use in, the big kids use it to count the sides in geometry. So you're learning it, just like you learned first grade stuff already. Does the circle have any sides? No, sides are straight. Triangle has three sides, and they could be different. They don't all have to be the same. So you could have one long, has three sides. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Kind of like a carrot, right? We also have the square, and the square, the sides, there's 4. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, these marks are just counting the sides for me. It's something that the big kids use in geometry when they're counting the sides. So let's learn it. There's 4 sides. The difference about the square, friends, all the sides are the same. No one's bigger, no one's longer. They're all the same. And there's 4. And our other shape, two-dimensional shape, is the rectangle. It has 4 sides also. It has 4 sides also. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. But 2 of the sides are longer than the other. And it could be laying down like this, like a table. It could be standing up. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one, friends, is our circle. This is our triangle. And moms and dads, if you draw this also, I would put the word next to it so they have it to know what it's called and how to spell it. Square, And we have these on our folder as well, friends. And the last one down here is the rectangle, and I'm going to write it up here. Rectangle. You're asked this week to use these shapes to make a form of transportation. We've talked about transportation before. We water. So it can go up in the air, can go on the land, or in the water. A lot of you might make a car, a boat, an airplane, a jet. Remember, we had put some of those in a circle map before we left, and I'm sorry I didn't get a photo of those transportations, but you're going to use some of these shapes. Now, some of you might say, Miss Ayala, I don't have any scissors to cut. Do the best you can. So if you have a piece of paper and you're supposed to cut those shapes out, the magic cut, just do the best you can. And I kind of pull it apart. It worked. I just kind of pull it apart slowly. If you have to use a circle, just do your best to tear it around. Triangle, you can get a triangle by folding your square in half. If it's a perfect square, if it's a perfect square, you can get your triangle. You just fold it in half. Your square to be a triangle. If it's a perfect one, you try your best. So these are our two-dimensional shapes. Remember, they're flat. They don't have any volume or space in them. We're going to talk about our three-dimensionals later on. But in your lessons, they're having you do work on these. The circle, say it with me, circle, triangle, square, and our rectangle. And I know you've been sending me some great ideas and pictures of where you see those shapes in your house. So thank you for that. The last thing I want to do for math, oh, we're doing a great job on time, friends. And you're being very patient. Hold up. Good job. And you can stop this at any time. You can stop me and come back if you have to. Good job, friends. Good job. Good job. Touch your nose. Touch your ears. Touch your mouth. Touch your head. Touch your belly. Touch your shoulders. Touch your ears. We're going to be good listeners. Touch your nose. Touch your mouth. We're going to be quiet. Touch your eyes. We're going to be watching. Remember? Do you remember, friends? When we're sitting down and we're paying attention, what are we doing? Eyes, watching, ears, listening, voices, quiet, bodies, calm and still. You guys are doing awesome. The last thing I want to show you, because I know tomorrow and Friday for math, you have a word problem. And you're probably saying, what's that? A word problem? Say, oh, friends, you know I love math. You know I love numbers. This is like the best thing for us. Now, all we're going to be doing, you're going to be deciding in the word problem. Are you going to be doing addition, putting things together, or taking it apart with subtraction? Just think of what the problem is saying first. And I made up the problem. I get to make up the problems. The teachers told me, oh, Miss Ayala. So the problem that we made up about, I believe it's flowers or something. I believe it's flowers. I made it up. But you have to decide, are you going to figure it out by addition or subtraction? But there's some cue words in there. What I mean, clues. So really quickly, I'm going to do a couple with you, and then you guys can do yours tomorrow. It says, we know some of these words already. Miss Ayala has 3, what are those? Books. Miss Ayala has 3 books. Okay. I'm going to pick my friend. The first one that came on here was Alyssa today. So I'm going to say Alyssa has one book. So look, Miss Ayala has 3 books. Alyssa has 1 book. We know that. This is the question. How many books in all? There's some really good things here. Now, some of you are yelling out the answer already because you already know. There's some really good clues here. I love this part, you guys. You already know Miss Ayala. You already know I have what? 3. So I'm going to underline. Important number. Alyssa has 1. We have what? Books. Miss Ayala has 3. Let me draw that out. Miss Ayala has 3. Alyssa has 1. Oops. And this is the question. How many books in all? So what are we doing? Are we putting them together? Or are we taking some? We're what? Putting them together. I lost a marker. I think it went under my couch. That's okay. We have a backup. We have a backup. How many in all? So we're going to count them together. So we're going to count them together. Are we going to use the plus of addition, or are we going to use the minus of subtraction takeaway? We're going to what? Add. So count them. 1, 2, 3 plus 1 equals, count them with me, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done some of these before, but writing the problem, you know how to write the problem. Now I'm doing it with the word problem. 3 plus 1 equals 4. For what? 4 books. And there you go. I'm going to do one more. This one had the word in all. Oh, we did a good job today with that. Proud of us. Let's do another one. Now you have to decide. Are you going to do addition with the plus, or are you going to take away with the subtraction? Okay? We're almost done here. Jose has 2. And I think in the problem, we actually wrote the word. I like to write the picture first because then we get used to it, and then I add the word in it. But it's okay because I think in the problem, it might have a word. Cars. And you know me, I usually draw the picture. So Jose has 2 cars. I could have drawn it. Christopher has 2, not enough room. Come down here. Cars. So it says, Jose has 2 cars. Remember, important words. 2 cars. Christopher has 2 cars. How many cars in all? In all. So there's 2 here and there's 2 here. How many in all? What am I going to do? Am I going to do addition with the plus, or am I going to use the subtraction takeaway? Addition with the plus. So what I want to see in your work, in your word problem, you're going to draw the 2 cars of Jose, if that's what they're asking for. Pictures are good, friends. I want to see the work for sure. And then Christopher has 2. What's wrong with Miss Ayala? She hasn't been drawn in a while. Huh. Probably the little paper. So then I have 2, and then 2 of Chris. So it's 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals, remember, circle it all. It's all together, circle it. What's your answer? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's read it. 2 plus 2 equals 4. For what? Cars. You got to tell us what you're talking about. Okay, friends? That was awesome. Wow. Somebody told me, you're going to be able to teach that one? Sure. We did great work today, friends. Look, we did our word problems. We talked about our writing, our picture. Remember the 3 things. Who's in it? Where are they? What are they doing? Remember when you're writing your spacing, remember your name. You could do it on lined paper. Friends, most important, I hope you like the story of the 3 javelinas. Please remember, sometimes I won't read a story. I'll just send you a link of the book so you guys can read it when you want. Remember our letters J and Q this week. Read your high frequency words. Read them, know them, try to spell them if you can. Remember your 2-dimensional shapes. Also, friends, very important. Remember, moms and dads, please text me or send me your information. Oh, but Jose Monroe is saying he misses you, Jose. We miss everybody, right, friends? Yes, we do. Um, I'm sorry. I didn't want to see those messages right now. Friends, remember to please send me your address. Also, if you have any questions, I don't have a problem. Call me, text me, message me, email me. I have a meeting tomorrow with the principals, with the principal and the whole staff. So we'll see if there's any other direction we have to take. I think we're doing great. I think we're trying to stay in touch. If you have any problems with the computer, please let me know. I know some of us had some issues because we were trying to access via phone. Also, if any of you ordered a Chromebook, then it should be available for pickup. They will let you know that. If you have any other questions or issues, please let me know. I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to see you on here. Please, friends, remember to stay home, enjoy your time with your family, be safe, wear your mask when you go outside, and keep your distance. Any of my friends, our friends who send us messages, I'll be sending them this week. Again, I want to thank Jose Chon Cepeda for giving us our first message. He was so excited to be the first. The police officers, again, are sending you their best. They've been a little bit busy, obviously, but if you have any questions or problems, let me know. Remember to send me your address. Remember to check in. I love you and I miss you, and I hope to see you guys really soon, okay? You take care. Love you. Love you. You know that. Be safe. Be great.